Oh yeah, we back. We back. We back with some more conspiracy theories and unexplained mysteries. But before we get to the video, I need y'all to help me unplug some more people out of the Matrix. And you do that by smashing the like button. All right. And once you've done that, put hashtag unplugged in the comment section. That lets me know. All right. And if you're new, you know what to do. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. What you waiting on? Join the family. All right. And that's it. Let's get to the video.
And the LHC is a giant detector. It's detecting something else. Maybe that is what it's detecting is the foundation of beauty, not just the foundation of matter.
When honest people say what's true, calmly and without embarrassment, they become powerful. At the same time, the liars who've been trying to silence them shrink and they become weaker.
Every year, a vast...
I feel the same way, man. It's like this uprising in people who've been believing, and more people joining that's been believing in UFO, extraterrestrials type stuff and all that type of stuff. The people who I felt like has been lying to us, it's like you pulling the curtain back off of them and everything, and they're starting to shrink smaller and smaller. He said that perfect.
To silence them, shrink, and they become weaker.
Right.
Every year, a vast number of scientific research papers are published, covering a wide range of topics from celestial evolution and climate change's effects to the potential health benefits of coffee and peculiar behavior of pets. With such a massive influx of research, it becomes challenging to discern what findings are truly significant and what may be intriguing but ultimately less consequential. However, there are concerns that scientists might be pushing the boundaries too far. Recently, Tucker Carlson has voiced his opinions regarding CERN, the European Organisation for Nuclear Research. According to Carlson, CERN is allegedly involved in opening a portal to another dimension. So join us in this video as we delve deeper into the validity of these claims by Tucker Carlson.
I think when we think of portals to different dimensions or to another dimension, we always think about going through. We never think about what could come through that portal to us. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I think.
Deeper into the validity of these claims by Tucker Carlson. Tucker Swanson McNear Carlson is an American conservative commentator, writer, and TV personality who gained prominence as the host of the nightly political talk show Tucker Carlson Tonight on Fox News from 2016 to 2023. Starting his career in the 1990s, he wrote for various publications, including the Weekly Standard. Carlson also served as a CNN commentator from 2000 to 2005 and hosted the network's primetime news debate program Crossfire from 2001 to 2005. Known for his outspokenness, Carlson has been an advocate for former President Donald Trump and has been recognized as a prominent figure in promoting Trumpism. However, he has not hesitated to criticize Trump if he believed the former president deviated from that ideology. And through his show Tucker Carlson Tonight, he has covered diverse topics such as climate change and dissected various aspects of science, making his voice heard on numerous significant discussions. Currently, he has turned his attention to CERN, shifting his focus to the experiments that go on at CERN. CERN, the European Organisation for Nuclear Research, is not your typical laboratory. Established in 1954, it is the world's largest particle physics laboratory and was created to retain talented scientists who were leaving Europe for the United States. CERN serves as a hub for cutting-edge research in high-energy physics, providing the necessary infrastructure and particle accelerators for experiments that explore the fundamental properties of matter and the universe. Through international collaborations, CERN brings together scientists from various countries to...
See, if there's one thing that can possibly create a portal to another dimension, yeah, I think it's this thing. Look at that. Just look at that, bro. Yeah.
Design and construct experiments aimed at understanding the mysteries of the universe. The facility also plays a vital role in storing, analyzing, and simulating particle interactions and events. Scientists turn to CERN when they have controversial or groundbreaking ideas that require advanced research capabilities. At its core, CERN seeks to unravel the secrets of the universe by investigating the composition and functionality of matter. By colliding particles at high energies, physicists aim to probe the building blocks of matter and the fundamental forces that govern their interactions. Through these experiments, scientists hope to uncover the laws of physics that govern the universe's behavior, shedding light on its origins, evolution, and underlying principles. However, there are individuals, including Tucker Carlson, who believe in a controversial theory suggesting that CERN is involved in creating a portal to hell. According to this theory, CERN's scientific experiments, particularly at the Large Hadron Collider, are believed to have a hidden agenda of breaching the boundaries between our world and the underworld.
Isn't there another place we can create a portal to? Why we had to choose that place?
Supporters of this theory argue that CERN's pursuit of unlocking the universe's secrets through particle physics serves as a cover for their true intention of opening a gateway to another dimension. There are speculations suggesting that the immense energies produced by the Large Hadron Collider at CERN could potentially create a rift in the fabric of dimensions, allowing malevolent entities to enter our reality.
Exactly.
Some conspiracy theorists rely on alleged evidence to support their claims, such as perceived connections to occult symbols and rituals, as well as distorted interpretations of scientific terminology used by CERN researchers. They also draw comparisons between CERN's experiments and fictional narratives involving parallel dimensions or the summoning of dark forces. The notion raises questions about whether CERN is involved in secretive activities aimed at accessing another dimension. The possibility exists that the scientists at CERN, through their study of particles reaching unprecedented speeds and colliding with great force, might unintentionally disrupt the delicate structure of reality itself. Even the tiniest anomalies in space-time could create microscopic rifts, initially inconspicuous but gradually growing in size and intensity due to intricate interactions among subatomic particles. This scenario is tied to the use of the Large Hadron Collider, the world's largest and most powerful particle accelerator located at CERN near Geneva, Switzerland. The LHC serves as an extraordinary scientific instrument, capable of propelling subatomic particles to extraordinary energies and enabling researchers to investigate their resulting interactions, phenomena that would have been considered almost magical before the collider's existence. However, that's not the end of the story. It appears that with the capabilities of the LHC, scientists have also contemplated the possibility of creating micro black holes right here on Earth. While the prevailing scientific consensus assures...
See, they count on us being naive and not paying attention to what they're doing. You know what I mean? But I just don't think that's good at all. Creating a black hole, we still haven't figured out the inner workings or how it works with the ones that we have in space right now. We know they devoured things. That's pretty much about all that we know. Somewhat how they form, maybe a collapsing star and they form. But other than that, so why would we chance creating something? No, I just don't think that one's smart.
Black holes right here on Earth.
Yeah, no.
While the prevailing scientific consensus assures us that any black holes generated within the confines of the LHC would be minuscule and pose no danger, there are those who speculate that this consensus might be a cover-up. Could it be possible that the LHC has the potential to create a portal to another dimension? Surprisingly, the LHC could indeed serve as a gateway to the unknown. The idea of generating small black holes at the LHC originates from theories that propose the existence of additional dimensions. According to these theories, under specific conditions of extreme energy, the LHC might be capable of producing black holes. These black holes, often referred to as micro or quantum black holes, would be much smaller and less massive than the astronomical black holes observed in outer space. It is essential to emphasize that extensive and meticulous scientific research has been conducted to assess the safety and feasibility of black hole production at the LHC. The consensus among the scientific...
Yeah, but who's to say that a smaller black hole wouldn't be as powerful as a bigger one? See, that's one thing. There are so many unknowns and variables that we just can't count for.
Community is that the energy levels attained by the collider are far too low to generate black holes that pose any significant threat. The energy scale required for the production of substantial black holes is estimated to be much higher than what the LHC can achieve. Furthermore, the lifespan of these hypothetical micro black holes would be extremely short-lived. An important factor to consider is that the continued existence of celestial bodies such as Earth and other astronomical objects serves as evidence that the energy levels reached by the LHC are incapable of creating stable or hazardous black holes. Theoretical models and calculations support the notion that any microscopic black holes that might be generated would decay rapidly, reinforcing the belief in their harmless nature. Leading scientists from CERN member states have conducted thorough safety assessments encompassing various disciplines such as astrophysics, cosmology, general relativity, mathematics, particle physics, and risk analysis. The papers authored by Stephen B. Giddings and Michelangelo M. Mangano, along with the reports from the CERN-appointed LHC Safety Assessment Group, have undergone meticulous scrutiny and received endorsements from esteemed experts, including several Nobel laureates in physics. Furthermore, additional investigations carried out by physicists at CERN have further solidified the understanding that even in the hypothetical scenario of microscopic black hole production, these entities would rapidly vanish through Hawking radiation, a phenomenon originally proposed by the renowned physicist Stephen Hawking. The process of evaporation guarantees that any created black holes would have an extremely brief existence, disintegrating in a fraction of a second. This crucial aspect helps alleviate...
I don't know if I'm buying that. I feel like they're just saying that to try to ease our worries. No, I'm not buying that.
...concerns about their long-term stability or potential danger. However, that's not the end of it. Experts emphasize that even if microscopic black holes were to persist momentarily, they would possess insufficient mass to pose any significant risk. Their small size and rapid evaporation would result in negligible gravitational influence, and it is likely that they would be expelled into space before having a chance to interact with the surrounding matter. Therefore, even if CERN were to hypothetically attempt the creation of a black hole or a portal to hell, it would not endure for long and would ultimately dissipate into nothingness. However, there are individuals like Tucker Carlson who hold the belief that CERN's activities extend beyond surface-level particle studies and that there may be hidden agendas causing significant public outrage if unveiled. While CERN's primary focus lies in particle research, some question whether there are alternative motives behind their work. Within the realm of extra dimensions, the behavior of particles and fields is profoundly influenced by the energy levels associated with these hidden dimensions. This realization has led to an intriguing concept known as gravity's rainbow. According to this theory, gravitational interactions may deviate from the predictions of general relativity when extra dimensions are taken into account, particularly at minuscule scales. This theory proposes that hidden dimensions introduce a wide range of possibilities, opening up new avenues for scientific exploration. To uncover the truth about the influence of these concealed dimensions, CERN conducts cutting-edge experiments that delve deep into the intricate realm of gravitational interactions on the smallest scales imaginable. By meticulously measuring and analyzing the gravitational forces between particles, researchers aim to identify distinct deviations that could serve as evidence for the existence of hidden realms. These investigations provide a unique opportunity to gain insight into the fundamental nature of space-time itself and its potential multi-dimensional structure. One of the most promising approaches to detecting these concealed dimensions lies in the collisions of subatomic particles within the immense energies generated by CERN's Large Hadron Collider. As particles collide and interact, they give rise to intricate patterns and energies that offer tantalizing hints of the presence of hidden dimensions. Through meticulous analysis of these collision events, scientists strive to search for elusive signatures that could potentially validate the existence of hidden realms. So what do you believe might be truly unfolding within the confines of CERN? Share your thoughts in the comments below.
I used to think it was a lot of good going on there. Not so much anymore. I think it's a lot more hidden agendas. Say that.
What if it's a little more boring? Because there's a chance that we were hit by an interstellar alien artifact back in 2014, but it landed in the ocean and no one was around to see it. Also, the definition of alien is still up for debate, and that is where Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb comes into the picture. He's the guy who wrote the book about alien stuff flying in space. Literally, it's called Extraterrestrial, the first sign of intelligent life beyond Earth. And he wrote it after studying that other weird weird asteroidish thing called Oumuamua that we detected flying through the solar system, saying it might have been an alien probe from a different galaxy. You remember those headlines. Well, after that, he went back and he started looking for records of anything else that might have come from a different galaxy and found that something crashed into the Pacific more than 10 years ago. Then he did a bunch of math that is way beyond my head. And the next thing we knew, he was leading an expedition off the coast of Papua New Guinea on a ship dragging this magnetic sled, looking for pieces of what they now call 1M1 on the bottom of the ocean. And guess what? He found something. And now we are starting to see the first close-up images and scans of what researchers think are fragments from that crash site. Now, Professor Loeb is just back from that expedition, and he's now back to work as head of Harvard's Galileo Project, which is looking to answer the biggest question on Earth. Are we alone in the universe? Professor, thank you so very much for joining us. I see you're back in this suit, but we saw you on the deck of that ship. Spoiler alert, before we hype you up too much, I've seen no evidence that you came back with an intact craft, but that's how science is supposed to work, right? What did you find on the seafloor?
Well, it's quite remarkable. There was a fireball back in 2014, and the outer surface of the object obviously melted because the amount of energy released was a few percent of the Hiroshima atomic bomb energy. And
how does that go unnoticed, though? That hitting the ocean like that? Or did it not go unnoticed and they detected it, but they just thought it was just, you know, meteorites that hit us all the time? That's probably what happened, took place.
Energy released was a few percent of the Hiroshima atomic bomb energy, and you expect any material to melt under these circumstances. And the droplets of melted material fell to the ocean floor, and they lay there for almost a decade, until we went there with a ship that was fittingly called Silver Star. And we used a magnetic sled, basically a sled that is covered with magnets on both sides. We kept it on the ocean floor and went a distance of 10 kilometers for each line of our search. We crisscrossed the region that was defined as the meteor site by the Department of Defense. And amazingly enough, I mean, we had an estimate for what the path of the meteor should have been, and we found small droplets of, basically they look like metallic marbles embedded within the volcanic ash that was everywhere. And we found them primarily along the expected meteor path. So there is clear evidence that they are related to this meteor, and moreover, we have them in our hands. It's the first time that humans hold material belonging to a big object that came from outside the solar system.
A lot of people are going to see this and they're going to say, oh, actually, you know, asteroids and meteors have been hitting Earth for quite some time. What makes this different?
True.
Well, the asteroids and meteors that we have seen before were all bound to the sun gravitationally. So they were orbiting the sun. They were debris of the material that made the planets in the solar system. However, this object was moving faster than the escape speed from the solar system. It was moving at 60 kilometers per second relative to the sun outside the solar system. And that's faster than 95% of all stars in the vicinity of the sun. Moreover, this object maintained its integrity down to the lower atmosphere above the ocean surface, about 20 kilometers there. And that implied that it was made of materials stronger than all the meteors on record, 272 of them in the NASA catalog. So this material was tougher than iron meteorites. And it raises the possibility that because the object was moving fast, perhaps it was assisted by some artificial propulsion, and perhaps it was made of some artificial alloy, the way we make our spacecraft. Because if you imagine Voyager, Pioneer, New Horizons that were launched out of the solar system, in 1 billion years from now, they will not be functional and they could collide with an exoplanet, creating the appearance of a meteor on that planet. And a scientist over there that is curious enough could find the debris, as we did.
Okay, so now everyone's attention is peaked. You said artificial. when you're talking about interstellar. If this thing wasn't being pulled in by the gravity necessarily of the sun and it came from outside of the solar system, what do you think it could be?
Well, the point is, it's not a matter of opinion. We don't need to assume anything. We have the material in our possession. That's the beauty of it.
We don't need to assume anything. We just need to get a sled and put it on the bottom of the seafloor and do science.
Well, it was a very challenging task because...
And also now that we have that, we can continue to look for things on the ocean floor or in that area, or go back and look through old data and different things and see if we see those same heat signatures hitting the ocean, and look in those areas and then start to, you know, compare these things and start to build a foundation and a theory and thesis of what we're dealing with. Where could this possibly come from? Maybe gauge how far. So now we have an area in space that we're kind of directing our focus to look at.
The depth of the ocean is 2 kilometers. We had a sled of 1 meter in width, and we went along lines that stretch 10 kilometers in length. And the fact that we were able to find these millimeter scale droplets, metallic marbles, spherules, is remarkable. It's a remarkable achievement. There was a team of exceptional professionals that contributed to that success. I was doubtful that we will find anything, but we took the risk and we found it. And now the next task is to examine the materials. And we have state-of-the-art instruments at Harvard University that we will use to study the material that made this object and look for things that do not resemble what we find in meteors, rocks in the solar system. For example, imagine it was an artificial object and there were semiconductors that were melted. Obviously, we will find trace elements that are not common to rocks. Also, you know, these spherules that are millimeter in size, you can think of them as romantic rose petals that lead us to our partner, so to speak. And the partner that I refer to is...
Weird analogy, a way to put it. But I get what he's trying to say. The same thing I was saying. Now we can kind of lead us in a direction of where we could possibly find where this came from. I wouldn't have kind of went the way he said it, but we get it.
Is any big relic that was left behind and is lying on the ocean floor. We now know the path that the meteor took, and we can plan for the next expedition where we will go after any big relic and using completely different machinery that will image the ocean floor. And if we find it, we could tell easily the difference between a rock and some technological gadget. And we might even, if it's a gadget, we might even see a label made on exoplanet Y, and it might have some buttons on it. So in the last class of my spring semester, I asked the students at Harvard University, I said, if we find a gadget and it has buttons on it, should we press a button?
No.
And half of the class said, no way. You know, that's very risky. You don't know what will happen if you press a button. The other half said, that would be amazing. You know, let's see what happens. You know, maybe it's GPT-1.
Y'all put in the comment section, are y'all pressing that button? Because I'm not. I'm not. That is extremely risky. Too risky for my blood.
100. And then one of the students asked me what I would do. And I said, well, I will bring it to a laboratory and first examine it before engaging with it.
Well, when you do, please invite us. Also, I can't wait to see when these results come back. And just real quick, what's the timeline, do you think, for when you could see some of those results?
Yeah, so within the coming weeks, it's just a matter of weeks for us to run the spherules through, you know, X-ray fluorescence devices, electron microscopes, all kinds of instruments that allow us to get a peek as to what the spherules are made of and what their structure is. Already what we see from a very preliminary analysis is that each spherule has spheres within spheres, just like Russian dolls. And it's really interesting because it means that tiny spheres on the scale of hundreds of atoms condensed first, they solidified, and then bigger droplets of liquid engulf them and then solidify. So you end up with spheres within spheres. That's an amazing view, and we just got it from an electron microscope. And we also have some preliminary analysis of the composition, but we want to get a large enough statistical sample of the spherules we have at our possession. We have more than 50 of them, and we will find more in the materials that we collected. But the basic point is, you know, we are following the evidence, and whatever it shows us, we will report to the public in an open way. And one thing we already know is that the spherules that were found along the preferred path of the meteor. They were mostly there. They were not in control regions, in distant locations that are far away from this path. And that shows a link.
Professor, thank you so much for joining us. You set off to find a needle in the biggest haystack I can imagine, and you came back with 50 of them. Can't wait to see those results. Professor Loeb, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Listen, I think the crazy part about this, let me make sure it's done. Yeah, it's done. I think the crazy part about this is that we didn't even know this was taking place. This was possible. I can't say we didn't. Some of y'all might have seen this interview. I didn't. But for those of us who didn't see it, now we know this type of stuff is possible. We know something came from another planet or somewhere in space that's not made of material of a planet or anything like that. So, listen, we're starting to build this foundation if we haven't already, or we're gonna tap into what has been hidden from us that possibly governments have known about for a long time. Y'all get at me in the comment section, man. Let me know what you thought of this video, and stick around and stay tuned. Till next one, I'm gone.